The thief on the cross, we all know that Jesus was crucified between two thieves. One on the right, one on the left, Jesus in the middle. It's interesting. Those two thieves represent all of humanity. One saved, one lost. They both wanted to be saved. One called out for help, and he called Jesus Lord, and he repented of his sins. He says, we are getting what we deserve. He confessed Jesus. He asked, and he believed. He will be saved. The other one wanted to be saved, but he said, if you are the Son of God. Does if denote faith, or does if denote doubt? He will not be saved. Those two men who are hopeless to save themselves represent all of humanity. We are all hopeless to save ourselves. Those two men who were guilty and dying represent all of humanity. We are all guilty and under a death sentence. One was saved. Was he saved because of works he did with his hands? What was the condition of his hands when he called for help? They were nailed. He could not save himself. And so he called out to Jesus and, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. That means he called Lord Jesus his Lord, and he called him his King. Jesus turned to him, and everyone, of course, mixes this up in the sequence of things. They say that Jesus said to him, verily I say to you, today you'll be with me in paradise. He didn't say that. He said, verily I say to you today, comma, you'll be with me in paradise. He's simply emphasizing, I'm making a statement today when I don't look like a king and a lord, that I am promising you paradise. And people have put the comma in the wrong place, but the scriptures had it right. Was he saved? Will that man, that thief, be resurrected? Which resurrection? First resurrection. So he's going to be saved because of all the good works he did. Will he be declared just by God? Did Jesus declare him just? He said, you'll be with me in my kingdom, and only those who are justified will be saved. So how does he get justified? He looked to Christ in faith and asked for mercy. That man, he did not do any works of the law. Now, when someone said, how can we do the works of God? How did Jesus respond? This is the work of God, that you believe on the one whom he has sent. So is there a work for everybody to do to be saved? At least the work of believing, right? But now, hypothetically, that thief will be saved. He was justified by faith. He was not justified by anything good he had done. If by some quirk of providence, after that man accepted Jesus and he felt peace sweep over his soul, even though he's suffering physically and he's dying, if all of a sudden a letter had come from Pilate said, you know, you've been reprieved, you're being forgiven, you're being pardoned. We know that you're crucified, but we're going to get a crowbar, we're going to take the nails out, we're going to bring you down, wrap up your hands, and set you free. So supposing he could survive and recover from his wounds, he's now been justified by faith. Would he live a different kind of life? We hope so. You would hope he would be so grateful that he has been saved both by Christ and Pilate pardoning him, that he would not go back and continue stealing. So now if he walks in a new way of life, that is called sanctification. Sanctification, that is the approved kind of sanctification, comes after real justification. When you have been declared just, you love the Lord so much for forgiving you, you want to live a different kind of life. We love him because he first loved us, right? And so because we've been justified by faith, we now want to live holy lives. That's sanctification. And then when the Lord comes, because we have justification by faith and we live the holy life, we then experience glorification and get the new bodies. The children of Israel, when they were saved from Egypt, were they saved because of their good works? Or were they saved because they followed the Lord, because of his mercy, because of the Lamb? Right? But then after they were saved from their slavery, did they make it to the promised land if they refused to obey? No. So even though we are saved or justified by faith, if we continue to willfully live in sin, do we experience salvation? That's why you keep reading in Galatians. Paul said, but if while we seek to be justified by Christ, we ourselves are found sinners, is Christ therefore the minister of sin? God forbid, certainly not. Don't think that. Now I'm getting ahead of myself.